Hello everybody. Okay, today I'm going to go through the basics of coding. Now this coding, guys, is not just applicable to Arduino or C or C++. I teach Java and you get exactly these same things over there as well. But now the thing is, what does all this word void? You will see pictures up all over the place. What does it mean? What does these brackets mean? Because they pitch up all over the place as well. What does these curly brackets mean? Each of these things actually has got a different meaning. And we are going to go through these things today. Okay, so now, the strange thing is, this lesson is for, although it looks like it's the basic lesson, it is sort of, I want to say more advanced, but okay, let's not really advanced. Okay, it is still basic, but yeah, let's go through this and maybe you will see where I'm coming from now. The thing is, if we look at this, we are going to create a function. Now, what is a function? This is a function. Okay, but when we are looking at the function, we've got two sides. We have the calling of the function and the execution of the function. Okay, now for object-oriented programming, they don't call it functions, they call it methods. Um, well, I consider it identical, although in object-oriented programming, they have extra features. Okay, that being said, let's create for ourselves a nice function over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, when we are looking at the function, we have two things that is possible. We can have an input and we can have an output from a function. So we give it some kind of information, it works with the information and it gives an output. Okay, but now it's not mandatory that it should give an output. It's also not mandatory that it should get an input. But okay, let's work from that point and then we can continue. Okay, so first thing that I am going to say over here is, let's say I'm going to create a variable. Okay, and I'm going to somewhere create a variable over here. Okay, let's make it a string. Okay, string. And now I'm going to call this, let's say, input. Oh no, let's not call it input. Let's say uh, user in or red val. Red val. Okay, guys, you can actually make it whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to call it red val because it's the returning value, and we will get into that a little bit later. Okay, something else that I'm going to quickly include over here. This is just to make things work for us. I'm going to say serial, and then I'm going to say begin. And each time you will see it recognizes these words as I go along. It changes color, right? And 9600. Okay, these are actually functions that we are calling, and this is inside of an object called serial. Okay, this is related to what we are doing today. The same thing happens over here. Okay, but we are going to call a function, and we are going to call our own function. Um, and I'm going to call it our uh, our own function. And now the way to, then we are going to have these round brackets. Now all functions has got round brackets. Some of them might be of such a nature that it is like that, where you don't insert anything into these round brackets. But if you see these round brackets, you know it's a function. Okay, as easy as that. Then we are going to go over here, and I'm going to say over here, void. Okay, what void means is we are not going to return anything. Okay, we are not going to have an output. Okay, so for this one, we actually don't have an input or an output. Okay, so which is totally allowable. So I'm going to copy this, copy. and paste it over here. Okay. Over here, we have now a curly bracket, and we have to have an opening and a closing curly bracket. And then over here, what I am going to say is serial parent ln, print line, okay? And then I'm going to, that's again a function that we are going to call, okay? Print line is a function that we are going to call, but in this case, we are giving it some kind of information as an input, and we are going to say inside our own function, okay, inside our own function. Okay, and now what's going to happen, this, guys, I keep it simple. Usually in a function, you've got now multiples of code that's executed and all these things, and but also, you know, you work from it from one side to another. So let's quickly upload this, upload, and oh, where is this error? So, okay, yeah, it looks like the port, it's not really happy with the port thing. Let's try it again. Okay, there it seems to go. Okay, maybe I've opened this thing now too late. Okay, let's quickly upload this thing again. Error opening serial port 9. Why is this happening, guys? Okay. Oh, you know what? It is this board. Okay, the board over here is Arduino Uno. Let's see if that's going to work better for us. Okay, so this thing keeps on not being happy. Okay, let's quickly have a look at why. Maybe if I move this upwards a little bit. Sketch. Error occurred while uploading the sketch. Error caused by error of why? Why? But why? Okay. This is an Arduino Uno. I must confess I've never used this. It's actually a clone, and I don't know if that is maybe the problem over here. There it seems to work. Done upload. Okay, I don't know, guys. That sometimes happens, you know. Okay. Fiddling around, and it was now sorted out. Inside function, inside function. Okay, I'm just going to clear this. Now, what I want to tell you is, before we continue, is over here, we have now a setup. This executes before everything, and it executes only once. Then we have a loop. This executes after it has finished executing, after it reaches this bracket, it will start to do that again. Now, this also is something, this curly bracket shows you the start point and end point of that specific function, or actually not more than just functions, but yes, in this case, it shows you the start place and the end place of your function. And your computer will run from top to bottom, executing one thing at a time from top to bottom. Okay, so over here, I say that, but your computer also jumps. I say in this case computer, guys, it's actually your Arduino, right? That's doing all of this, but yes, it jumps, okay? And this is what happened over here as well. Okay, so we started by creating this, and then we went into the setup, and then it set the motor speed, which we actually can, we can remove that. We are not really using it in this case. We go to the serial, we set up the serial so that we can communicate with it, and by passing certain information to the other side, to this function. Okay, then we go to this one. And then it's not the first jump, but that is a visual jump, I would almost say. Then if we call this, this is where we call the function. Then it jumps out of that point and it goes to this point. And then it executes from top to bottom everything that is inside of this thing. And then it jumps back. Okay. Now, so, and then over here, it's going to jump to this point, and then it's going to jump to these things that we are not actually going to use that much. Okay, but what I can do, and let me just clear my screen. Oh, my screen is cleared. I can now say our function. I can say that again, and this is the reason why we have these things. We can, when we are using coding, we are constantly working with redoing things, or not redoing things, using things again and again and over again. Okay, so over here, I'm going to just upload this. Okay, and then what you will see is that it printed out this 2 times. Why? It went to create that, and then it went here, and then it went there. It actually jumped out and it came back. And then it went here, jumped out and came back. Okay, then it over here, it jumped to this point, executed this code, and when it reached this bracket, it jumped back. Okay, on the time it jumped back, it was called again. So it jumped again to this point, print it out again, and jump back. Now, in this way, if you work with this, at the point you start to think of this as a single thing. Okay, you don't think of it as code that's, you keep it in your back that it's actually individual code that's running at the back, but you think of this, oh, this is what it's doing for me. Okay, and when it's finished executing, it will go to the next line. Okay, that being said, what we now can do is I am going to pass information to this. Okay. For this, I think the nice way would be to say pass info. Okay, pass info. Now this is a variable. It's like a container that keeps and holds information inside of it. Okay. And then we have over here, I'm going to say pass info and equals, and then I'm going to say hello, something like that. Okay, now with the equal sign, guys, yeah, it is similar to what we have in maths. But in maths, it's more of an observation. We observe that the one side is equal to the other side. Over here, it's actually forcing the one side to become the other side. It takes the information on the right-hand side and places it into the left-hand side, always with the equal signs. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to take that information and place it into that. Okay, then what we are now going to do is I'm going to say pass info. So this is a little bit different from directly inserting information because it's indirectly inserted. We first passed it into a variable and then we pass it to the function. In the function, we are going to have another variable. Okay, so over here, I'm going to say string because I'm waiting for a string. I'm going to call it input. And the reason why I call it input, guys, you can call it whatever you like. But I like to call it input so that you understand what the function is of this thing. That acts as the input to this function. Okay, so now this one will actually not work if I don't pass anything to it as well. Let's say second. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say inside function, I'm going to say plus input. Okay, so what happens over here? If it's called over here, that information that's now hello is going to be, oh, let me just put the space over there, otherwise you're not going to see again. Okay, so the information hello is been placed into this variable. Then it's over there, and then that information is actually copied into this variable. So we've got two variables with exactly the same value. But now this variable is only available between these two brackets. If it leaves that brackets, it ceases to exist. But luckily we have a backup because this one will still be existing. Okay, but in any case, over here, what happens is we are passing over here, firstly, that information. Secondly, I've somehow hard-coded the information inside of it. I've directly inserted it. Okay, so it's going to call this information, but the information that it's going to pass, firstly, is going to be hello. Then we are calling it again, and we are going to again jump to this, but this time input is not going to be hello. The second time input is going to be second. Okay, so let's see, and then it's going to print out every time. It's going to print out that and append to it that word, whichever is input. Okay, so let's look at what the outcome is of this thing. Okay, I don't think I've cleared it. No, I haven't, but you can see already what it's doing. But let me clear it, and then we can run it just quickly again. Okay, and let's see what the output says. Inside our own function, this is now saying inside our own function, and then appended to it is now some kind of information that is in that variable. The first time the information in that variable is made hello. The second time that variable is called, or that function is called, the value is second. And this is why the second time it says second. Okay, this is now passing information to a variable. Okay, now, next thing. Let's say I want to get an output from this. Okay, so for that, I'm not going to say void. Void means we are not returning anything. This time I want to return, uh, let's say I'm going to return, let's make it a string as well. We can make it a string or an integer. Integers are values like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Doubles are values that has got fractions inside of it, and so on and so forth. But let's try and work with a string. I am going to say, now because I know that we are going to return a string, what I always do is I say string output. And the reason why I call it output is because this thing will function as the output of this string. Okay, it will function as the output. And I'm going to say over here, return output. Okay, that's now nice, but we haven't given any value. This is a variable, which is, because it's created inside of these two brackets, it will only be available within these two brackets, similar to what we have over here. But this one is not initialized on the outside. It's not given a value on the outside. We have to give it a value over here in the inside. So what I am going to do is I'm going to say output, and yeah, the appending might be problematic. We will see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to say appending the input value of, and then I'm going to say input. Okay, in this case, whatever is between the quotation marks will be placed over there directly. This is what is inside of that variable, and then we are going to return it. Over here, if we are returning a value, then we, to get hold of that value, we have to say an equal sign before this thing. Okay, equal sign before that thing. Okay, but then we have to place it in some kind of variable. Now I have already made a variable. I'm saying red value, val, which is now for return value. Red val. Okay. But we have to see that it was actually able to do that. So I'm going to say a serial dot parent line, and then I'm going to say red val. Okay, and over here, dot parent line ret val. Now, the values will differ because of the input. So this is almost like doing, as I've said, this can contain thousands of lines of code. So over here, let's say it's doing some kind of difficult calculation for us with integers or anything or strings. Okay, we can do that. So I'm going to say over here, and then it returns a value for us, which is now our output. So over here, this will function as the input, and that will function as the output. Also, we can have multiple inputs, guys. This is not, you cannot have multiple outputs now. You can only output one thing, but you can have multiple inputs. That is totally possible. Okay. Okay. So let's look at what has happened. We say we call this function, okay, and then it jumped to this thing. Then firstly it printed out this, which we will probably see over there inside our own function, hello, and then it's going to do the appending, then it's going to return our value for us, and it jumps back because it has reached this bracket. Okay, usually the return in any case is an indication to jump back. Okay, so it jumps back, takes that information and places it into redval. Okay, now after it's in redval, we are going to print out that value that's in redval, which is in this case now that whole thing that has been appended and everything. So this is printed out over here. After it was called, then we get information back, and the information back, we have printed that information that we have received, we have printed out over here. Then we call this function again, and then we are inside of this function. This time, second has been passed. Then it returns for us a value, and we have the returning value over there. And then we take that returning value and print it out. In this case, the returning value will be appending the input value of second. Okay, and why is it second this time? Because we have passed the value second. Okay, so this is how this thing will work for you. Okay, this is in short how functions work. You can use it now not just 2 times but 2 million times. Well, depending on the memory size available. Okay, and with the Arduinos we don't have a lot of memory, but yes, this is how it works. Okay, for computers we I think we can literally have millions. Okay, it all depends on the memory size, as I've said. Okay, guys, this is in short how this thing works. And we can now talk about that a little bit. Yeah, in any case, we will see what's going to happen in the future. Thank you for listening.